Call me fuego, 93 like me. Fire in the sheets, spending summers on the sea. Quedo, she throw away home. Bev Hill life on Rodeo.
But do you think that's just kind of a symptom of the fact that we're looking at the last day of games, so nobody wants to be a little bit more, I guess, flagrant with their aggression?
To be honest, I think that was more of a symptom of the circle. In
That's
that
true
game.
as well.
You know, gas cans, they, like we said, they are one of the teams in this lobby that are more inclined to go for that early fight and feel comfortable going for those early fights, those circle 1, circle 2 fights. But that being said, they're also not stupid. You know, they're not just throwing it out there for the hell of it, right? So they knew that they were coming in late to this circle. They knew they had very little information about what was going on the edge that they were at. So therefore, we just kind of saw them hang out and you know, we saw them take the initial quick fight against Veritas once they got that quick read. And that's another thing. Good on them for being able to get that really quick read on what was going on as far as Michael being the solo in that compound. So that's something that you know, we got to give gas cans credit for, is their scouting is just so good.
To be very careful. They do have some distance away from Rumblers, and just to the way that the train works, while they are kind of close, they don't have a good firing line into this fight.
Oh my God, this
circle is going to shift back over, and yes, Poro, my prophecy and my prayers are coming
this is
true.
All your fault.
I love it. All right, let's see everybody hop in their vehicles, make a push back over to Los Leonas in just 1 second. Shoot to kill going for positioning early could be huge, as we are seeing a little bit of a slowdown happen with the Soniqs gas can fight. Both of them knowing the fact that they want to take it, but you can see gas cans being a little bit more hesitant, knowing the fact that they don't have the numbers and the fact that they can reposition around and maybe gatekeep Soniqs from position instead.
There you go. That's what I was going to say, is that they've managed to save Private Nikos, and now they're in a perfect position to do a little gatekeeping. The last bullet from Badger will find Tig, but Hwinn trying to make a run up the hill here. I think gas cans might be able to hear his footsteps. They do. They're going to be in time, though. Hwinn will get the work done. Can he trade 2? Yes, he can. The captain is in full effect here, saving his team, while Honey Badger continues to throw the throwables down there and see if he can flush out Tickleton. Not going to find anything yet, and now M1me is going to replace Hwinn, and here comes the push.
Veritas has already shifted out of position. This is just a straight up fight between these two different squads. Honey Badger trying to hold the line, gets a good connection back over, takes down Hwinn, gets the flush onto one of them, gets Shrimzy extremely low as well, takes a peek back over towards it, gets one on Tickleton, but does go down. A lot of damage has been dealt back over towards Soniqs. Going to be a quick res coming back over towards Shrimzy. Hwinn now down and rolling down the hillside, trying to get these reses back up. They have to get Tickleton quite quickly, but they're going to be one of the last teams to make a push back over towards Los Leonas. And let's be honest, if you can look at the map and the situation on what's going on inside of Los Leonas, it is a mess. We can see that Shoot to Kill and Comets already skirmishing off of position, and Zenith looks like they might have the capability of third party at range.
I'm actually in malding right now. Where the hell is Veritas? How do they not realize that Soniqs is all down here and all knocked? Why have they not made their way over to third party onto this? That's free kills that they just basically said, we don't want, we don't need them, whatever. And now, okay, we're back into Comets and STK. I'm sorry, I was driving in, that drove me insane. I don't understand it.
Veritas had moved a little bit earlier inside of this. I like how Shoot Skill's like, where did he go? He just kind of popping up a little deadly jack the box back over into that corner. Got to be a little bit more careful with that, but we are also going to see the illusion come up back behind them, and we know the fact that they can cause a lot of trouble in some of these fights. With the way that Shoot to Kill was positioned, they're having a little bit of trouble regrouping entirely at the time, but quick pickup for a couple of kills back over towards the Rumblers, setting them back over towards 3, and should be able to get the res over towards Waldo. Really, the only team that Rumblers have to be super cautious of is going to be that late rotating Soniqs that could have an angle to work with, but it's just continued harassment back towards the due center or downtown of Los Leonas right now.
But now that that new circle popped, you can see they're already in trucks on the move, trying to find their way in, because this thing cut hard to the west.
Who would have thought? Hard western shift comes into play, and reposition coming out from T8, going to run right into Tickleton, who's got a nice firing line to work with. Soniqs really got control back over towards the west. Remember, Rumblers still holding down that warehouse, and Oath that are still going to have that ridge line, all in very powerful positions right now. The remnants that have been playing inside of downtown itself for Los Leonas having a lot of trouble right now. As you can see, it's just quick exchanges back and forth. T8 knows that they've got a little bit of trouble ahead of them as Duel is trying to make their way up along this northern path to try to encroach into that area, but they have to be very careful. It's going to be Dodge, Zenith, Illusion, and maybe even Purdy Curdy from Shoot to Kill, choosing a path along that lines. Meanwhile, Just to the north of that, it's going to be Comets, Fabled, and Oath that could be bumping into each other. So Duel having to just kind of jump their way through. But we can see that Fable's got a nice position that they're trying to play from at the time. Very aware of where Comets are playing from, but do Comets have the firepower to double stack away from this position? Becomes the big question on how they're going to make their way through the zone. They are inside of safe zone. They just have to play this very cautiously based off of Fable's positioning.
You know what's going to happen, Matt?
What?
I'm calling it right now. It's end game. The last two teams. It's going to come down to Veritas and Soniqs.
Veritas and Soniqs, do you think so? I'm kind of feeling
I'm calling
that
it right now.
I'm kind of feeling that Oath's positioning and Rumbler's position is pretty strong.
No. Because Veritas let Soniqs live.
Oh, just because?
It's going to come down to Soniqs versus Veritas for the win, and Soniqs is going to win. I'm calling it right now. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. I believe you though. Oath has such a good position right now. We'll see how many kills they can pick up. This, like you said though, everybody flushing through the funnels here in the urban area makes it really kind of difficult to spot out. So, and just the fact that it's just 4 of Oath. So if they get one knocked here, it's going to be kind of rough.
This smoke wall is so good. Buys positioning that they needed to get through. Creates right along the side of this. We see this be very common. Just play along this western facing of Los Leonas. Kind of playing along that ridge line. Make your way back along next to where Oath is at the time. Duel doesn't need to overextend from this point. They can hear the firefight and everything that's going on around them. And so instead, just kind of let your enemies fight amongst themselves and see if maybe you can find an opportunity to work with. ATC now cutting back behind the Comets and Fabled fight that we were seeing just a second ago. Nobody really encroaching back over towards the direction where Oath is at. Do note, Oath is running a 2-1-1 split with all firing lines to cover each other. So that's why there is a big stall that's happening back over towards the east. It's just very hard to contend with the angles. Meanwhile, right on the other side, as you can see from Oath, it's just super comfortable from positioning. So now, here's the problem for Oath. They are separated out, but look at how many teams are about to be vying for their position.
You know, it's not just Oath either. It's Dodge on this southern part. They're holding this high angle as well. So it's a number of teams that are just kind of trying to cope with these lines of sight from Dodge and Oath. Fabled still managing to keep a few up. ATC now having to make their way in. Zenith, Duel, even our last remaining player for SDK, Kurt, will have to try to find some way to get in this. But New Circle looking really nice for Rumblers, looking great for Soniqs, as they can just kind of hang out on the southwest and not have to worry about much of anything.
I do want to point out Pat Cap's positioning on the mini-map right now. Look at how aggressively he has repositioned back around where Dodge is at. Stragglers now getting picked up everywhere as there are still 8 teams, 26 alive, but don't be surprised if we're going to see that drop off dramatically here in the next couple of seconds. Really, it's about Duel's positioning and how they're going to opt to move forward. You can see Dodge still playing off the high ground point, looking back down. They have multiple angles and repositions that they can go through. It's about how Duel chooses to play this angle. The way that they can try to move through this, you can see that Lynxie's kind of being a little bit of a distraction while the other two members are moving in closer, and Cherry does connect with a grenade. That could be absolutely huge. Now going to try to see if he can get it maybe with a connection Molotov. That might be good. I can't quite tell. Yeah, he's caught on fire. That's going to be Adam going down. A beautiful toss coming out from them. So now Duel in a much better position than they were just a second ago, and Dodge now having to scramble down, make their way down the hill, or down there, the stairs, to make sure that they can really stop Duel's approach.
The raid boss himself with a great throwables here, although he's going to take a lot of damage as he tries to make his way through. Finna and Dodge not oh no, did he shoot his own player in the back of the head? I'm not sure if Penta took some damage there, but Finna will get credit for the knock. The flashes come through. Is this going to be the push from Dodge or just a reposition? Looks like they're just holding down for the time being, but you do have windows.
Lynxie!
Oh, Lynxie, no. Finna just destroys him, but Cherry will come up over the top and he'll get the down. Will they flush out the kill? It doesn't look like. Oh, Finna. What a hold from Finna and Dodge as Cherry and the rest of Duel go down in 8th place.
Big plays coming out from both of those teams. It's going to be Dodge surviving with just one member. Meanwhile, any trolls in chat is going to be kind of listening to what's going on towards the north of their position. That's going to be Fabled that's trying to make a play. Do note, there is still the 2-1-1 split coming from Oath just to really get control over everything that's happening back over towards the east. There's remnants of teams that are still just playing back over towards that eastern area, and that's allowing all of the distraction. Soniqs can capitalize off of that. You can see that they keep moving into new, stronger positions to try to find some type of angle. And there we go. Shifts back over towards the north. Maybe Prophecy Poro could come up big as it's going to be Veritas and Rumblers in a great spot.
Well, Rumblers don't have much to do right now, but Oath is. This is going to be interesting time for Oath. We'll see how many they can keep alive while trying to come down that hill, because it is going to be. I don't know what they do here. Soniqs, Rumblers, Veritas all have vision on this big slope coming down out of the spot where Oath already is. But, we'll see if maybe Oath is just in a position to try to get as many kills as they can here. Only 2 so far.
I mean, this is an interesting setup for Oath. They have the control, they have firing lines, but if one member, specifically Balefrost or Patcaps, goes down, they are unresable. Really, it's only just set up with the other 2 that are stacked on top of each other, and there's going to be a funnel of teams that are trying to work around this position. Do note that Soniqs are also going to have to make their way forward. Patcap's positioning, where he did separate out, does not get rewarded with positioning. So the longer that Pat stays here, we're going to see the fact that maybe he repositions to buy some space for it. Oath now knows they're in a bad spot, trying to get as much damage out as they can. Snakers does connect onto that to finally eliminate out Dodge. But the problem is going to be ATC and Fabled, and oddly enough, they're starting to contest with each other. This is going to work out beautifully for Oath. As you can see now, ATC trying to make their way back along this low point position. Oath is going to have a little bit of tools to work with from this, and now also know exactly where Fabled are going to be at. Beautiful toss is going to connect, get a little bit of damage off, and everybody that's peeking back over Snaker's direction is taking a ton of damage off of it. Another beautiful Molotov throw to come through there. It looks like we're going to get a quick Viking funeral coming out for Rip. Greg Shot's in a lot of trouble now as well, and this is the strength. While if you can see a member of Oath were to go down, it'd be problematic, but they can cover each other from so many angles. It's so hard and oppressive for any of these other teams to try to reposition.
Greg Shot just going to die to the blue there. There's not really much else he can do. Gila and Norcus will make it inside the compound, but they'll most likely just kind of play the audio cues for the time being. It looks like the rest of Oath is going to group together. Snakers, Bale, and Reload, the guys that are up on the high ground at least, are going to try to see if they can maybe finish off ATC before they have to worry about trying to make their way down the hill here.
ATC slowly making their way through. Norcus taking a ton of damage from the blue zone. And as you're making the approach back over towards Oath, that's going to be problematic. Norcus does go down to the blue zone itself. Balefrost feels like he has a great read on what's coming through. Quick Spray is going to go ahead and connect. And there we go. Back over towards the east. It is calmed down. But the problem comes into play. The new circle has popped, and it's going to be Veritas and Rumblers that are still inside the zone. Oath are still going to need to make a little bit of a reposition back over towards the east, as well as Soniqs up towards the north. And really, all eyes now turn to the defensive fortifications of Veritas and Rumblers.
Who's gonna? I'm really interested to see how Oath decides to do this. What are they going to decide? I mean, basically, all you can do really send it now. Maybe they can try to go around to the north, or at least try to go around towards where Pat is.
Looks like they're just going to send it in a vehicle.
Yeah,
go off the cliff. Go off the cliff. Yeah.
There they go. They go off the cliff. I mean, there's nothing else really they can do. I mean, they had to go down, so they're going to try to heal up a little bit before they have to make this push. But they're going to eat some Bale.
I don't think that those meds were worth it. They're taking way more blue damage than they're medding.
That does more than tickle, doesn't it? Well, they will manage to get down in here. Oh, Relo will get spotted out by D-Treats. Can he get another one? Pat,
oh, no, Pat.
The truck, high points. They got 6 kills, but they managed to get to this wall, and that is absolutely huge. All
right, Rumblers, what do you got for your defensive line? Veritas does see everything that's going on, starting to make approach back over there. Beautiful Molotov does land back over towards Pat Caps as well. A lot of damage going to come back over his direction. He's going to go down. Then there were 2 still up and active for Oath, looking back and forth between the hellfire that is raining down upon them, trying to see if they can find some way to get something out of this. But it's going to be Veritas that's looking up to pick up the remnants of Oath based off of positioning. Rumblers are just holding the defensive wall right now, and it's all work coming out from Veritas. Snakers is trying to figure out what he's going to do. He's going to have a couple of flashes thrown back over towards him, but it's a double up firing line coming out from Oath, and Veritas starts to realize, okay, maybe this might be a little bit too aggressive, as McCoy continues to watch that outer wall to see if anybody's going to be coming through that doorway.
To pull off of that for the time being. I mean, Soniqs, I think, was also taking some shots into Veritas right there, but Snakers and Balefrost, they're on the very edge of this building. Let's see how long they can stay alive. They managed to heal up a little bit as we push into phase 9. This is tough stuff, tough sledding. Rumblers, I gotta feel, have a really good shot at this one.
Well, here's the thing. Soniqs used all of this distraction to reposition right in the middle of the circle. Veritas was caught up looking at Oath. Rumblers was caught up looking at Oath. So now Soniqs has a beautiful defensive setup. They are sitting with a hefty lead over Gascans, who went down early. Oath down to 2 members. They know that they need a big game, but the numbers and position are not in their favor. Big Shot's going to go ahead and connect from Tiggleton that take down the other side of the Rumblers. Now just 1, and it's going to be Gaxi, who now knows he has to walk right in between Soniqs and Oath. The whole time this is going on, Veritas is trying to reposition. Snakers does find the angle back over towards Keenan, does get him down, buying a little bit more space to work with. You can see that Veritas doesn't have a lot of good cover and are going to have to walk through the open soon, and Snakers is trying to capitalize off of that.
I think Jazz can actually get this res onto Keenan, bring back Veritas up to 3 strong here as they try to push in. Good smoke cloud laid down. The Sonics still haven't been sending shots over in Veritas' direction. Looks like they're more concerned with taking care of the last member of Rumblers and seeing if they can find an angle onto Oath here. But they've got fantastic cover, fantastic position. Tig, the most aggressive one here, trying to go out there and see what he can find on the edge.
Oh, Tig playing inside the smokes, spots out a little bit of information, be it through his ears or through just a shoulder popping through the smoke. Yaxie knows that he's in trouble and finally gonna go down. Sonics taking more and more of a stranglehold towards this in circle as everybody is just being clustered and slowly herded back over towards each other. It's going to be Veritas Keenan starting to lead the way back over towards the Sonics. Maybe this could be the distraction that Oath can use to try to capitalize off of. Snakers goes down from an outside angle, and it is quick annihilation back over towards Oath. Veritas, Sonics lines up, and it's going to be the Prophet. Poro trying to make a play off of this one. He's got the knowledge. Shrimzy trying to spot it out, goes down, and now it is just in the hands of TGLTN himself. Looking back over towards Veritas, spots out one, doing a dance around the car, seeing if maybe he can spot an angle, seeing if maybe he can get one more point to play off of, but it is a 1v1 position. TGLTN walks away with it, 11 kills, and that is going to do a ton of work for their lead.
What can I say? What can I say?
That's it.
What can I say?
I guess this is the way it works. I call where the circles go, and you call who's going to be fighting inside of them.
For Adamas.
Love it. I love it.
It's almost as if. It's almost.